Hey everyone, this is Lisa from Life and Layouts over here on the Crafty Maven. Today I have a sketch it video from using the August 2019 page maps, and I'm going to use this one page sketch, and it does call for 4 photos, but I am going to use one 4x6 photo. I picked up this paper pad at Tuesday Morning recently, and it is called the Lost and Found. And they had a ton of different collections in this Lost and Found. It's from My Mind's Eye, and this is a very boyish collection, and I am in love with it. It's called Breeze, so it's got a lot of blues and golds and a little bit of greens to it. I am using this very busy background, and I'm actually going to cover up some of, or actually most of, those picture frames because they don't really go with my layout. But I wanted to save this particular one that says "You Are Special," and I was actually planning on using it on the layout, but I found a different ephemera piece that I ended up using. So I just cut it down and stuck it in the ephemera pack because I'm sure that I will use it later on. And then I found this pattern paper as well. It's really busy, but I liked the lines of this particular paper and that scroll. And then I used this dark background. It has a tone-on-tone of it looks like a really faint just print. And then this brown piece of paper is a polka dot piece of paper. All of these papers come from the paper pad, and I just think that they are perfect for any type of boy layout. So I am going to use the background of the sketch to as a guide for this particular layout. I really didn't follow a whole lot of the sketch besides the background itself, and I really just like the way that it came out. So I did pick up also the 6x6 paper pad. Again, all of these are at Tuesday Morning as of probably the end of July 2019. And so I used a 6x6 paper pad to map my border or map my photo just because I wanted to give it a little bit more dimension and separation from all of those dark background colors, and because the photo itself is a dark background, like it's a black background. These photos are of my friend's little one from when he was 9 years old. He's such a little handsome little boy there. And so this is where I pulled out the ephemera piece, and it says, "You have such a boyish charm," which I thought was perfect because that little smile definitely says boyish charm on it. So I'm going to use my ground espresso distress ink to distress all of the edges of the paper on there on this layout, and I do end up distressing the edge of that sunburst as well, and it is very glittery on the edge, so a lot of the distressing didn't show up, but it's still, I like the way that it gave it some dimension. I didn't really add a whole lot of embellishments to this layout, just simply because the background itself has some embellishments to it. Like at the very top, it has a script font, and then with what was left sticking out was the parts of the frames. So it gave it some texture and dimension behind the actual pattern paper. So I do use fun foam, and as you can see, I'm kind of trying to use up some of my scraps of fun foam. So I put that behind my photo. I like to use the fun foam only because it then provides a even surface. I was using pop dots for a very long time, but what I had found is because of the weight of my layouts, when you get a bunch of layouts, even if you're only doing like 30 or 40 layouts per album, the weight of the layouts tend to bow down your photos in the spaces where the pop dots aren't. So that's why I like to use the fun foam. So I pulled out the ephemera pieces, and I found this little circle that says "cute" in the middle, and then this tag here that says "unique, adorable, and charming." And then this is where I did I did use pop dots behind that little circle because I realized it just wasn't, that didn't matter if it got squished because it's just a little embellishment piece. So I couldn't find, I wanted some embellishments that were just simple embellishments, and most of the embellishments in this pack have wording on it and things like that. So I went ahead and pulled out the 6x6 paper pad. I always pick up the 6x6 paper pad if it's available because it will give you a smaller print version of what's in the 12x12 paper pad. And then for something like this where I cut out a 1.25 inch circle, I didn't want to cut into a 12x12 piece of paper for that. So I just used the 6x6 paper pad. So I cut that circle in half and added it to underneath the cute so it looks like there's actually 2 full circles in there. And then this pattern paper is also has a lot of different pieces on it as well. So I tried to cut out this circle here, and it was just too close to the other colors. Like everywhere that I wanted to tuck it in, it just blended in too well. And so I actually end up using the back of it. But what I really wanted to show you guys and highlight in this particular layout was that there are sometimes when you buy a paper pad, all of those paper pads that are papers that have embellishments on the backgrounds, or it looks like it's going to be difficult to use. So I wanted to show you guys that how I use them with the ones that are a really busy background. And like I said, I covered up most of the ones on that 12x12, and then I was trying to pull out embellishment pieces from the 6x6 paper pad to add to this layout as well. So don't struggle with the fact of trying to use it as it is. Make it what works for you. Make it into embellishments, cover up the pieces that don't work for your layout, and use the rest of it, because I love that swirl in the bottom. And I don't know that you can tell on the video, but it has some glitter to it, that swirl on the bottom. So it's just a gorgeous piece, and I definitely wanted to showcase that. And so that's why I didn't put anything there in the bottom right hand corner. So now I'm just looking through the pieces here, and this heart punch I picked up at Hobby Lobby, and it's probably a punch that I use a lot when I don't have embellishments. I have a heart punch, and then there's also a star punch, and I love to use it to add just extra little embellishment pieces, again using my scraps or parts of the 6x6 paper pad to add additional pieces for you. So if you don't have a lot of embellishments that for a piece of paper or a collection or a paper pad, think about picking up some standard shape punches, and confetti punches like this heart one here is the best because you get like 5 or 6 different sizes of hearts in one punch. So it really is the most bang for your buck when you try to pick those up. So there were 2 embellishment pieces that I cut down. This one here has a little crown on it, and it was a longer tag strip. So I just cut it down so that there's 2 crowns, and then I put it in between that circle and put it underneath my 2 hearts that are there. So made it all part of it. And then this little piece here it was a longer scalloped edge, and it says loving you, and so I added that down there to the bottom. And I tend to do that a lot, where I add embellishment pieces and then have to pull them back up because I want to add other things to it. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is add this wood veneer 9, because that's how old he is in this picture, and I just use the same distress ink to distress the edge of that wood veneer, so it gives it a little bit of, it ties it all together. So that is it for this layout. Here's my final layout, as well as some close-ups. Make sure you guys check out other ladies here on the Crafty Maven Getaway, because there's lots and lots of inspiration. I will link my channel below if you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more inspiration from me, make sure you check out my channel. All right, everyone, thanks for watching, and have a scrappy day.